Chatham Field in Savannah, Georgia. In November, he went on to Mitchell Field, Long Island, New York, which was the staging area to deploy overseas. On December 15th, and we know this, I think, he went to England and was in the 8th Air Force 20th Wing, 446th Heavy Bomber Group, 706 Squadron. Now, isn't that a mouthful? Do all you guys have that? Yeah? Okay, that's normal. Okay. This is an example of what a B-17 Flying Fortress looked like. We just wanted to understand like what he was dealing with, and remember he was 18 years old at this time. So this is a heavy bomber. It had a crew of 10, and this is what he was training in. This is the B-24 Liberator. I just scraped this right from the internet. It said it flew faster, higher, and farther due to greater fuel capacity. It's not the prettiest of planes, though, we noted. Not sure what's going on there. Okay, so this is the invasion, the Americas and the British Isles. This is where he was heading. So you'll see in the middle there's Liverpool there, and you can see some seaborne reinforcements going off. Down the bottom is Normandy invasion, and then coming out of that area where the plane is, they're leaving that, what is that, Mom, that area? Norfolk? Norfolk, England, flying into Germany. So that's what they're doing there. So he went over there, he was there 2 weeks, 3 weeks maximum. No letters. We have not found any letters post November, mid-November. This is a letter my grandmother received February 3rd. Now, she did receive a telegram that the plane became disabled in a severe snowstorm. A few members of the crew bailed out. The plane crashed January 9th, 1945 with the pilot and co-pilot on board. Now, reading some of the letters, after the death, after the crash, I should say, a number of the crew members started writing to each other about what happened to who. And we have some letters that lead us to believe that we know 2 people that parachuted out. One broke his ankle and survived, I think. The other one jumped out and his parachute didn't open in time and he died. The other crew members we don't have a lot of information on. We do know the pilot and co-pilot Bob did go down with the plane. Yeah, this letter, it just broke us. This is the actual letter that Graham opened. It's very blurry, I know, we do have it, but it's just a sad situation. So in 2015, we took a flight over to England. Mom and I wanted to go to the Cambridge American Cemetery, where my grandfather's buried. And so here we are in England. What an amazing cemetery it is. It's just unbelievable. So what I'm going to do now is play a little video for you. There is sound in the middle. It's turned up as loud as I could get it, so just bear with me here. But I want to share the experience that we had when we went there.
The Cambridge American Cemetery sits on a quiet hillside outside the ancient university town of Cambridge. This is the only military cemetery in the United Kingdom that commemorates American service members and civilian volunteers who died in World War II. Graves fan out across the lawn in sweeping curves. It's a place of stillness and reflection. A stately memorial building contains a mat room and devotional chapel. Leaded glass windows display the seals of the U.S. states and territories. The mosaic on the ceiling depicts the flight of ghostly aircraft, joined by mourning angels flying into eternity. A visitor center tells the epic story of the historic alliance between the United Kingdom and the United States during World War II. Some 3 million Americans came to the British Isles to prepare, train, and fight for freedom in Europe and beyond. More than 3,800 of those Americans are buried here. Some died in the air, in raids over Hitler's Europe. Some at sea, in the Battle of the Atlantic. And others fighting on the ground, in lands far from home. The walls of the missing list over 5,000 names, some are familiar, Chesapeake band leader, Major Glenn Miller, perished in a plane over the English Channel. Navy bomber pilot Joseph P. Kennedy Jr. was killed in action in 1944. His younger brother, John F. Kennedy, would become president. But every name has its story. Every name resonates with its message of sacrifice. And free people everywhere will always remember the bravery and selflessness of these American men and women. They crossed the ocean to fight for freedom and sacrificed their lives.
Ooh. That's tough. Okay. Since Bob was buried overseas in Cambridge, my grandmother made the decision to have him buried over there. And so there in Greenwood Cemetery, just up the street up here, you will find this memorial. And thank you for putting the flags on all of these stones, where we can go and just reflect when we're here. Thank you for letting us present my grandfather and my mom's dad. I am so grateful for the opportunity. I learned so much about him, and the strength of the love between these couples. They're getting married right before they fly off. It's just, I just can't even fathom the bravery of these people. And God bless you all that did it. So thank you very much. Lights.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, no sleeping.
Thank you, Kathy, and thank you, Jennifer. That was touching.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And if you ever have a chance to visit a national cemetery, do it.
Definitely.
Let's observe a moment of silence in remembrance of James Harmon and Robert Allen and all those who perished in the armed services of this great country. Thank you. At the district meeting in Rome, Pennsylvania a few months ago, wow, that was a few months ago. Where did my notes go? Oh, I am standing. I was presented this certificate from the VFW National Headquarters. You'll see it centered on the table, commemorating our 75th anniversary. I would ask our state commander to please come forward and read that letter to us. Thank you, sir.
Madam?
Sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, comrades and auxiliaries, it is an honor to be here with you today to celebrate this memorial occasion. This is, it's amazing to look around this room and see how this VFW was born. And it continues to strive as we get into the future generation. As a 24-year veteran myself, I served from 1975 to 1999. And I ran for this position for the purpose of moving this organization forward. How many Vietnam vets are here? I want to thank you for your service. You are the reason why we are still operating. Sad part about it is your brothers, and I say brothers because most Vietnam, there wasn't too many females there, but you are living day by day, wondering whether or not this disease called Agent Orange is going to take your life. My concern is we need to move to the next generation, which is basically, we are transitioning from the Vietnam era to the Persian Gulf era as we speak. And it's for your honor that we continue to do that. I want to thank you very much for your service. With further ado, I'd like to read your proclamation of your 75th anniversary. Commander of Herman and Allen Post 8306, Veterans of 4 Wars of the United States. It's an honor to congratulate you upon the occasion of the 75th anniversary and of your post. I send my sincere thanks and gratitude to all members of the VFW Post 8306 and your outstanding record and service to the community, to veterans, service members and their families, and to our nation for so many years. The members of VFW Post 8306 are a pillar of support for Catawissa, Pennsylvania. Year after year, you have provided superb public service to others. You have provided invaluable network of service to those who have borne the battle, as well as their families. And you are advanced the health and well-being of those who bear the burden of defending our nation and our way of life. Your continued devotion to protecting and upholding American ideals serve as an inspiration to all to follow and is a testament to our motto. No one does more for veterans than the veterans of foreign wars. My heartfelt congratulations on reaching this landmark. Well done. Sincerely, Fritz Michalczek, Commander-in-Chief. Thank you very much.
I want to thank you all for your continued support of this post, our veterans, and our community. I want to thank the auxiliary for their work. I want to especially thank our past commander, Paul Sevison, and our club manager, Jack Bruno. 10 years ago, this was a much different place. Through their leadership, we have helped countless veterans in need with medical devices and donations to help them in difficult times, and support our community with generous donations to our local police, fire departments, Boy Scouts, Little League, Food Bank, Catawissa Military Band, Catawissa Halloween Parade, Southern Columbia Scholarships, the Senior Citizen Center, and not to mention the thousands of hours of community service. Without your support and commitment, we could not have accomplished so much. I doubt that I'll see the 100th anniversary of this post, but with your continued support and recruiting new members, we'll be assured that in 25 years, the 8306 will still be strong. Thank you. That concludes this portion. You're welcome to stay for our membership appreciation meal, which will start. Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Can I just say something?
Please.
I'll be short. I just want to say that to me was the most wonderful presentation of history of the Second World War and people in all of the time that I have worked in the VFW. I have gone to so many of these. You should be so thrilled to have this kind of history. I was born in 1942, so I was 3 years old or 4 years old before I saw my dad come back from the war. He was sunk off 2 ships. The only thing I know about it is the names of those 2 ships. They never talked about it. It was amazing to me to see this. I only wish that I had the kind of history of my dad that you folks have for these 2 wonderful gentlemen. Surviving 75 years, that's a milestone for you folks. It's wonderful. You survived the worst pandemic in the history of the United States, and look at how strong you are. You got to give yourselves a hand.
Yeah.
I salute you. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your service. Just remember, every day is Veterans Day. Nobody does more for the veterans than the VFW. I thank you. And one more note, I have the commander's pins with me. Any of you veterans or anybody else who would like them, see me afterwards, all right? Thank you very much. I really appreciate you giving me this time.
I'm afraid I got caught up in the moment. Our auxiliary is also celebrating their 75th anniversary.
All right.
And I got caught up in the moment. I got a little, I don't know, I get that way. Ask my wife. But anyway, I'd like to invite our auxiliary president forward, Carol. What happened?
Nothing, Mark, you're fine.
Boy, I gotta sleep at night.
Don't worry about what I can talk about. It, like Mark said, this is also the auxiliary's 75th anniversary. And we are so happy to have all the members that we do have and all the great things that they do. But the VFW Auxiliary was actually started in 1914. And what we do is we unite families of service members to come together. The auxiliary's goal is to raise awareness of the issues that our military personnel and their families face every day. The auxiliary's main mission is to educate, support, and keep patriotism alive. Our auxiliary here was started in 1946. Over the years, the auxiliary has raised money for the veterans and community in many different ways, such as bingos, yard sales, food sales, raffles. And a few years ago, men were included in the auxiliary. We're so glad to have them. We are, they do all the heavy lifting. That's right. The auxiliary is proud to support the men and women who fought and have fought to keep our great nation free. We thank you, veterans.
Thank you, Carol. And again, I do have to sleep tonight, so I'm sorry. Anyway, with that, I believe it's time to bring the food forward. And we'll have a blessing upon the food, and then we'll eat. Thank you all for attending. It was wonderful, I believe. It was wonderful. I wish we had more information about Mr. Harmon, but it was tough to find even what we did find. And unfortunately, Joanne could not be here. She was looking so forward to it, but she came down with COVID at the last minute. But anyway, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll have some pictures up here, Grip and Grin, Dog and Pony Show. Okay.